Bam. All right. Good Monday morning, Mad Hatter Nation. Week 10 of the NFL is all but one game in the books. And well, you see, we're wearing victory red on a Monday. Well, that's a good omen for the Detroit Lions. That's a good omen for us this week because that's right, Detroit. Well, we took the commies to the woodshed. Let's be honest. It was a absolute trouncing. There are some good things and some bad things that came out of it. Mostly good, a few bad. We will discuss. But what a performance, the Detroit Lions. Now, I'd said pregame and all week long, this was a statement game, the Lions, and this was going to be a strong barometer of how the Detroit Lions season will go, the duration of the year, what we can expect. And, that's the high ceiling now. So what you've seen against the commies was the absolute ceiling, what the Lions are capable of doing, spreading the ball around, defense, taking care of business, offense, unstoppable in all aspects, right? I mean, let's be honest, guys. Midway through the third quarter, the game was getting kind of fucking boring. All right, I'm going to be honest. There was a point in the third quarter that I thought it was the end of the fourth quarter. I was like, shit, I'd get some scrubs in there for some reps. And then I looked at the clock and it was 7 minutes left in the third quarter. And I was like, oh, shit. But hey, you know what? We still finished the game behind the 8 ball and everybody got some reps. Even Tesla, our boy Isaac Tesla got a little bit of action. Waymo, Jamo, hello! Welcome back to Earth. Jameson Williams, we've missed you a little bit, buddy, but that is ultimately to say, guys, I don't think Johnny Morton is going to have a job. he might stick around through the end of the season just for continuity's sake. But Dan Campbell, and I've been saying it for a long time now. People really underestimate Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, not only does he know ball, but he's actually a smart guy. He puts on a facade of a meathead and lets people just go ahead and think what they will, and he probably leans into it a little bit. But as we've seen when he took over for play calling for Anthony Lynn, right, and now when he temporarily or by committee took over play calling for John Morton here against the Washington Commies, the results speak for themselves. Dan Campbell, what it is deep down is I think Dan Campbell just knows his guys. I think he knows his guys, and I think he knows what his guys are capable of, and he knows how to get the absolute most out of his guys, which is why Dan Campbell's one of the best and most successful head coaches in the NFL. We do have some news and notes from around the league, namely, in case you guys missed it, well, the boss was in town. And I do have a little bit of a theory. That was one of the more fairly called games by the officiating for a Detroit Lions scrum. And I do think that there's a little bit of it. One, the officiating crew that was calling the game tends to be a little bit more fair, I've noticed, at least my opinion, over the duration of what I've witnessed. As well as I think the NFL was like, oh, the boss is in town, and he is not afraid to go after corrupt organizations, even the big sports organizations. You know what I'm saying? So I think they were like, just don't give him any ammo. You know what I'm saying? And it was entertaining to see Big Donnie. He was there. He was waving. I don't care if people are reporting that they booed or not. I had a great time seeing him there. I thought he was a lot of fun in the booth. You know, of course, he's not a football expert. He's not going to go in there and be Tony Romo or Tom Brady or Greg Olson. But he was entertaining. You see why people like him. In my opinion, based on body language, my opinion on the Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma team has now flipped on its axis. I didn't like how Kenny Albert stood there looking like he had a stick in his booty, and you could tell that the producers were telling Kenny Albert what to say and how to say it and how to direct the conversation. Meanwhile, Jonathan Vilma looked like he was like, that's the fucking president. He's like, that's the president. I'm standing talking to the president of the United States. And we're talking about, I'm standing here talking about football with the president of the United States. Like, Jonathan Vilma looked like he was having the time of his life. And for, whatever you think of Big Donnie, you can't dispute the fact that he's an entertaining dude. He's a showman. And my last note about that before we kind of just put that to the side, because this channel's not about that, I got to point out, if you look at the contrast between Zorhan Mandami AOC, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom. They all have this bad habit of code switching, which is, like, in my opinion, it's the low expectation, or the soft bigotry of low expectation is the same camp that code switching falls into. And you notice how Trump just doesn't. He's just himself. It just kind of makes me respect the authenticity a little bit more. But all this to say, NFL star is coming to us from Newsweek. NFL star Amon-Ra St. Brown's Donald Trump gesture goes viral. That's right. Him and the boys, after scoring a touchdown, Amon-Ra and the boys getting in on the Trump dance, pointing up at the boss and saying, "This one's for you, Big Donnie. Let's go." We will see kind of what the NFL and Newsweek is saying. Of course, they are, to be honest, their butt is a little sore. They got a little salt, you know what I'm saying? We will briefly peruse the grades handed out from the games. We won't go through every single one, but obviously big ones here, like Miami over Buffalo. Shitty. It was just shitty, as well as a zeroed in look at your Detroit Lions grade given out to us by CBSSports.com. Then we will be getting into news from the Motor City. That's what we like, is Motor City news. Dan Campbell calls plays over OC John Morton, and Lions win over the Commanders. You've seen him on the thumbnail, and it's outside of everyone's individual performance, which I don't know how. I don't know who got game balls. We will watch the post game Dan Campbell rah-rah in one of the articles here, and maybe he hands out game balls. But personally, I have a unique take on some game ball handouts. There was some players who I think really just stepped up, put their big boy shitting pants on, and went to work. Kyoto Oshika. You know what I'm saying? Tristan Colin. Let's go, guys. Let's go, dude. Very impressed, but we will see what NFL.com has to say about MCDC being OCMCDCHC. HCOCMCDC. Let's go, dude. Let's go. John Morton did not look like a very happy camper, and he looked like he wasn't even talking. He looked like he was just sitting there as a placeholder, and maybe that's what Dan Campbell has to do. Maybe Dan Campbell just goes full Bill Belichick and just puts a potato sack with a smiley face drawn on it up as the offensive coordinator, and he just does it all. Partially, I think this is what happens when you don't promote from within. Look at the success Calvin Shepard is having versus the lack of success John Morton is having. I just think that there is a certain degree of knowing and familiarity with the players and having history with them to get the most out of them, to know what they're really, really good at. We will then kick it over to, you know him, you love him, Tim 20-man, senior beat writer for DetroitLions.com. Week 10 observations. There was a lot of them. First and foremost, you'll see it right here. We're not going to talk about it until we get in there, but Mr. Do-It-All, Brian Branch, did you guys notice the power plug popped out of Brian Branch's helmet? No power plug. We had Super Saiyan Brian Branch, and I've been telling you guys for weeks that we have to unleash Brian Branch, remove his power limit, let him become a Super Saiyan, and look at the game that he had all over the field, playing lights out. I do think it's because he got baptized as well. And then we'll wrap it up with A to Z Sports. We will be a little high, and then we'll come back down to earth to maintain a little bit of sobriety. 5 winners and 4 losers from the Lions after their win over the Commanders. What's going on with the Lions' first round pick? And I'm glad they picked up on it too. It was something that I noticed and I was a little disappointed in, but it is what it is, and I'm sure Arthur has a plan. I'm sure he has a plan. I'm sure Dutch has a plan. Arthur, I kind of fucked that up at the beginning, but it is what it is. I'm sure that Dutch has a plan. If you guys would do me a rock solid favor, now that we've done all the things, would you ring all my buttons and press all my bells? Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every single time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at YouTube.com, as well as an hour. We went pretty heavy yesterday. We did almost 2 hours of a digital tailgate yesterday. You guys had me chatting, bearding it up like a real hardcore yesterday, and it was fine. I don't mind it at all, but there is the digital tailgate that is a little bit looser, a little bit more lax tie. We just kind of hang out with you guys, place our bets. It's always a good time. Different dynamic, a little bit different of a dynamic. Like I said, it's more of a digital tailgate. It's kind of fun. Just kicking it, hanging it, chewing the fat, you know what I'm saying? Could you guys like this video? When you go ahead and press that like button, a fun little football will spin, and you can have a small dose of dopamine when you do that. Do that for me, as well as the most important thing, share this video around with all of your friends, everyone you know. It's the best way to get the content out there is to tell people, you know, hey, check this guy out. We're trying. We're out here. We're trying. I do appreciate some of the bigger channels, like my guy Mike Kimber's been giving me some pretty heavy praise, and I really appreciate Lions Talk by Chat Sports. So if you haven't already, go subscribe to Mike Kimber or Micro Mike, or I think it's Lions Talk by Chat Sports. So definitely check him out. He is super close to 100,000 subscribers. Go on over there. Leave right now. Go subscribe to him, and then come back. Do me that right there. It's what we do here, y'all. It's what we do here. There is a poll. There is a poll up in the chat. I'm not going to lie. Guys, I'm a little disappointed. A little disappointed. There's 11 votes cast. Question of the day is, the sailors all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if 27% of the vote, they had more gas, which is technically not wrong. 9% of you say they had taken a plane. Also equally as not wrong. But the real answer here is 64% of you say they'd put 15 more miles behind her. That's right, guys. It is November 10th, 2025, which means it is the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It's not just a boat, it's the Edmund fucking Fitzgerald! That's sinking all 29 souls aboard to the bottom. It is a big thing here in Michigan, so if you know, you know. Guys, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, Mad Hatter Nation. Good morning to all of you. Looks like everybody's here hanging out. I did want to give one special shout out. Stephen Engel's in the chat. Brother, I can't remember the name of your channel, but he has a faith-based channel that he does Bible study. Please check him out. Brother, I can't remember what I think it's like Mid-Michigan Faith or something like that. If you could drop that in the chat, we could maybe get some of us to head over there and give you a follow, dude. So he's just kicking it and starting off. So he's a good dude. I worked with him back in the day. He's a good guy. He's a real good guy. Stand-up dude. Beat Zelda. Got the Triforce. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, guys, but to your point there, Stephen, yes, why do you guys feel about Mid-Michigan Bible Study? That's what it is. Yes, he goes live Wednesday nights, guys, so go check him out. Go check out Mid-Michigan Bible Study. It's my boy Stephen over there. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. It's a good dude, man. Legit, a good dude. So just give him a follow, help him out. Give us a little up in the algorithm, you know what I'm saying? Headed back from D.C. right now, was rocking Lions fan. Heck yeah. Art Vanderlei traveling out there, being part of the, I think the Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma said it seemed like a 60-40 fandom split. And I did hear echoing Jared Goff chants in the stadium. It's absolutely awesome. To be full disclosure, part of me wanted to start a Jared Goff chant at the grocery store Sunday morning before church. A very small part of me was like, come on, let's start a Jared Goff chant right here at Meyer. Let's go. Hey, Hat, who's been the best team in the NFL right now? I wonder who it is. Yeah, Beantown. It's a little bit of a soft sore subject there because ya boy was like, hey, New England's totally going to win. New England's going to win. They're underdogs. I can make a little bit of scratch. And I got a little, I got convinced otherwise. I got convinced to take Tampa. I knew, though. I had a feeling that Drake May was going to be all right. And, he was, Drake May is good. Okay, Drake May is good. Drake May is very, very good. Drake May is very, very good. There you go. Heck yeah, appreciate it, Brandy. That's what's up, dude. You guys, I appreciate it. Dude, like I said, Steve's a good dude. He's a good guy. What's up, y'all? Oh, for MVP, thank you. Appreciate it. What's up, Derek? Good morning, dude. West Coast representing. Mr. Detroit City's here. Rick City. Brandy Coffee's here. My mom's here. Goff got a game ball. Hey, Mom, I was thinking about you last night when J-Mo was going absolutely bananas. I was like, well, I know somebody who's happy. Hopefully she's got him in her starting lineup because J-Mo. Man, I like it. I like it when our offense is firing on all cylinders, guys. I really appreciate it. Nobody expected Drake to be that good. He's taken him. So, Beantown, to that point, guys, yeah, Drake May, obviously first-round selection, so there is a ceiling expectation to him. But y'all, Drake May is playing 3 years more developed than where he is. He's playing like a fifth-year quarterback. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? And he's doing it with, let's be real, a not prime Steph Diggs, a not superstar tight end, a in development but not all-star running game yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, New England got lucky due to injuries. Mr. Detroit City, you might be right, dude, but they still won, dude, and they're still crushing it. And then Buffalo turned around and Miami just shit in their hat. And how embarrassing for, was it Chris Greer, the former GM of the Miami Dolphins, that the first game after you were unceremoniously fired, it is clearly evident that you were meddling with Mike McDaniel when the very next game, the Dolphins went out and just punched Buffalo right in the dick. Just punched them right in the dick, dude. Like, who seen that coming? Not me. I'll put money on Buffalo and parlays for Buffalo, but it is what it is. Trippy Gypsy, what's up? Good morning. If Dan put those glasses on a week earlier, sophisticated Dan. So this is a new name. When Dan has the glasses on, he's Daniel Campbell. He's not Motor City Dan Campbell. He's Daniel Campbell, PhD. And if you guys don't know, I've been sharing my videos on Facebook, and I keep saying it's come get your PhD. You know what I'm saying? And Daniel Campbell, PhD. PhD stands for pretty huge dick. Daniel Campbell, PhD. Pretty huge dick. There we go. Daniel Campbell. When Daniel Campbell's in town, when Daniel Campbell shows up, woo! JG16 for MVP is what we gonna get. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, and you could just see it. You could see the gears just grinding in his head, dude. He was just a man on a mission. And personally, y'all, I like it when a coach has the call sheet, whether it's the head coach or the offensive coordinator. I like my coaches down on the sidelines. I like my coaches with call sheets. I miss the days of let's use the tissue box of knowledge. I like the days of they'd hold it up so you can't see what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like they'd hold it up over their face. I miss those days, dude. I miss those days. So Amon-Ra hit the Trump dance, you guys. Detroit Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Breezy. His touchdown celebration mimicking Donald Trump's signature dance has gone viral on social media. Newsweek reached out to Trump's representative via email for comment on Monday. Why it matters. Why does this matter? Why does this matter? Well, because you guys are assholes and you've been painting this image of Donald Trump for so goddamn long that it just chaps your ass when some guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown is like, hey, Big Donnie! Big Donnie dance, Big Donnie dance. And then J-Mo comes in and he's like, we're all doing the Big Donnie dance. You know what I'm saying, bro? St. Brown's gesture sparked widespread attention online and at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland, where Sunday's Lions against the Washington Commies game took place. The moment highlighted the intersection. I almost said insurrection. I'm cooked, y'all. Highlighted the intersection of sports and politics during an NFL match attended by Trump himself as part of the league's Salute to Service initiative honoring United States military veterans during the game. The 79-year-old president was booed by the crowd, and yeah, probably not, but some people probably did, but I think they're going to make a little bit more of it than you do, and this is what I love right here. The moment highlighted the intersection of sports and politics during an NFL match. That is... intersection of sports and politics. If that ain't my fucking channel right there, boys and girls, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What to know on November 9, Trump attended a regular season match. Yes, this is the first time since Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter got off his peanut thumbs and went to attended a game in 1978. Trump watched from the stadium box. St. Brown scored a touchdown in the first quarter and celebrated by pointing toward the president's location before performing the so-called Trump dance, a move characterized by rocking the arms and legs back and forth. Why do I have to put that in there? Do you know what? You rock your arm. What the fuck, dude? What fucking clown world do I live in, dude? You got that rocking your arms and legs back and forth. Yes, you mean like dancing? Do you mean dancing, Michael Scott? It's a way to express yourself. Like, what the fuck, dude? The gesture was joined by several Lions teammates, including J-Mo, and quickly gained traction on social media platforms, including a widely shared video by Outkick founder Clay Travis that garnered over 3 million views on X as of publication. Let's check it out here. Here we go. Zoop.
Off on the slant to St. Brown.
Boom.
He's in
Yeah.
for a touchdown.
Yeah. That's so awesome. That's so awesome, y'all. See, they're making it out like it was some big thing, dude. That was a very classy. He didn't make a big deal. Hey, big orange man. Hey, orange man. Everyone tells me orange man is too bad. Sire, he's breaking the narrative. If this black NFL player is showing respect to Big Donnie, how can we continue to convince them that he is a bad, vile, racist man? How can we keep the narrative? We must say that he was wrong. He was booed. It was wrong. You must apologize, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You must apologize. We both know that's not going to fucking happen. But that wasn't even that bad, dude. He just, hey, boss man. And then J-Mo knew the assignment. J-Mo understood the assignment. And J-Mo, let's be honest, J-Mo is the demographic and represents the demographic of the individual that the Democrats like to say, you are ours and you will do what we tell you to do. You must say that the orange man is bad. And what does J-Mo do? He understood the assignment. He ran right over there and started, he was hitting that dance, dude. Yo, come on now. Quit making mountains out of molehills, you butt fuckers, dude. God, that's so lame, dude. Why? Let's be honest. God, the news is just so fake and gay, dude. The news is just so fake and gay, y'all. Come on now. Come on. Trump's daughter became Jewish. He does not care. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is this the bitching about sun god's Trump dance? What's up, ARF? I'm not bitching about it, dude. It's just a damn silly. It's in the context of the game. Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, not only is it just a celebration, it wasn't even like, dude, the media would have it sound like Amon-Ra came out there with a goofy little mustache singing fucking Erica and goose stepping about the fucking the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Like the media would have you believe that Amon-Ra is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, dude. He just just like quietly was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. They're dance off with Joe Biden, boo-hoo. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Arf, dude. I appreciate it. Can't wait for the St. Brown podcast for Amon-Ra to tell it. Dude, yo, Kane. What's up, Kane? I was having that same thought. I was like, I can't wait for Amon-Ra to just tell everyone to get fucked. Like, dude, we got to get it out. Y'all, you got to hype this video later today after. Come back and check this video later so we can hype it up. What we need is to start an online campaign so that Jacob Barr none. Do you guys know who Jacob Barr is? He's the dude with the GFC Get Fucked Cunts hat. All of his merch is GFC, you know what I'm saying? Or Get Fucked, Stay Fucked, you know what I'm saying? Dude, Amon-Ra should have him come on the podcast, or Amon-Ra should buy some Get Fucked Cunts merch and wear it and just be like, oh, man. Dude, the only ones who are mad are the ones who are offended by cartoons, syrup bottle, and NFL logos, dude. Yeah, you mean affluent white liberal females. I'm sorry, affluent white female liberals. The awfuls? Yeah, dude. Elizabeth Warren, Pow Chow or Kung Pao Chow or Pow Wow Chow, fucking Pocahontas herself. She is just clutching her pearls in her wigwam. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. She's in her little ass TP all bent out of shape because Amon-Ra. That was weird, dude. That was weird. That I looked out the window and one of the dogs across in my neighbor's yard was just like really getting after the other dog, like really sniffing his butt really hard, and it was just weird. You mean Swifties? Yes, dude, that is exactly what I mean. That is what I mean. He may have been supporting the troops as half the people were in line 1 hour to the game. Thanks, Don. Dude, yeah, dude. Dude, yo, legit, like... It was a celebration of the veterans, dude. He was doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump was doing the right thing, and they can't let him have anything, dude. They can't let him have anything. Bro, it's so annoying, dude. It's so annoying. So let's check out some grades. I wanted to look at the Bills. The Bills got an F after beating the Chefs in an AFC showdown last week. The Bills got caught sleeping at the wheel in this game. Buffalo looked overmatched, underprepared, and completely out of sync. Josh Allen turned the ball over twice. James Cook lost a fumble and couldn't get going on the ground. And the Bills receivers had trouble getting open. The defense hasn't been able to stop the run all season, and that issue continued this game with Devon Achane going off for over 170 yards. The Bills are still a Super Bowl contender, but they have a lot of flaws this year, and those flaws were on display in this game. Do you guys feel like this year's NFL has been kind of wild, dude? You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares what they think. Exactly, dude. Exactly, bro. Let them go dye their hair and cry in a safe space. The punch to Amon-Ra was definitely Trump's fault. Dude, like, Jody, it's I definitely think that that's a good joke, but, like, I do think that, like, that might have been a retaliation because they're now Washington is just dirty and greasy. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily Trump's fault per se, but there could be a little bit of the culture war seeping into the NFL. There could be that part of the reason why Amon-Ra's dance is being hyped up so hard is maybe that's what Daron Payne is saying. Maybe Daron Payne, I don't know, man. Maybe he's like a hardcore liberal. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he was like actually offended by that. I don't really know what happened. All I know is I'm glad he got kicked out. He needs to be fined. He needs to be suspended. If you're going to suspend Brian Branch, you got to suspend him. You also probably got to suspend Javon Kinlaw as well because he was acting a fucking fool too, dude. I see two unrelated stories. That's totally fair, Duncan. That's totally fair. I'm trying to just connect dots, dude. I swear as soon as I trade Achane because Miami doesn't use him, he averages 30 points. That sucks, Kane. That sucks, bro. He was suspended. Yeah, I thought I seen that he was suspended. Is it one game or is it multiple games? Because one game is minimum. Multiple games should be where it's at. If you punch a guy, show me that in football plays. Yeah, dude. Payne was already suspended. No shit. Like this year he's already been suspended? If he's already been suspended this year, then shouldn't he be suspended like the rest of the season? You know what I'm saying? I thought it was because the commies were getting stomped in front of POTUS on TV and felt prissy. Yeah, dude. I think it was mostly frustration. Like, let's be honest. The game got boring to watch from a Lions perspective. We were just beating the fucking brakes off of them. Just belt to ass, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, we were brutalizing them. Did we even punt? Did Jack Fox even go on the field other than to hold the kicks, the extra points and field goals? Did we even fucking punt, dude? Or did we just absolutely take him to the woodshed, bro? Because if we did, that's awesome. And shout out Amon-Ra getting that touchdown. I actually hit, so if you notice the number went up, we're up to $360 of donation money. I did hit, ended up making about $70 yesterday. Got a little three-legger, Amon-Ra touchdown, Gibbs 70 yards, and Lions to win. I was on DraftKings, and it was one of the pre-made parlays, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, bam. So I just loaded that up real quick. Made a couple of bucks, but not a good day gambling for us guys. But Detroit, 44-22 win over Washington. The Lions getting an A grade after a shocking, fuck Chicago, by the way, dude. Oh, my God. Bro, that fat fucker sat on Jackson Dart's head, and then they had to play Russ Wilson, which makes me wonder. So we're going to start, pretty soon here is the end. We are through the halfway mark of the season, guys, which means based on how things are going, we can start to project coaching moves and stuff, which will be a conversation point for us. What happens to the Lions offensive coordinator spot, and who ends up filling it? Do we promote from within, or are there some head coaches that you wouldn't mind being the offensive coordinator that could be on the hot seat? I'm pretty sure you're going to see Kevin Stefanski get fired. I'm pretty sure Brian Daboll is going to get fired, and I wouldn't necessarily be angry at either one of those two guys being our offensive coordinator, because I do think that they can execute the Dan Campbell game plan. 0 punts, Brent. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Trump has to be like, I was a tight end. Do not die in office, meh. Yeah, dude, I thought it was funny. He was like, no, I played tight end. And you could tell that he was trying to not like, I mean, I'm going to just assume that he wasn't like a big player on the team. And even if he was, it's not like he looks fondly upon it. He was like, yeah, I played. We weren't so good, whatever. He was pretty humble about it, dude, in my opinion. I thought he was really humble about his time. Payne identifies as a scumbag. Yeah, dude, he identifies as a scumbag. That's awesome, dude. I like that. The offense had its best performance of the season. The Lions piled up 546 yards, which was the team's highest total in a road game over the past 10 years. Damn. Jared Goff diced up Commanders' defense that had no idea who to stop, so it didn't end up stopping anyone. Jahmyr Gibbs had 172 yards and 2 touchdowns on 18 touches, and J-Mo finally made a splash. The receiver finished with 119 yards, marking the first time in 8 weeks that he's topped 70 yards. When the Lions are clicking, they're nearly impossible to stop, and they were clicking against Washington. The Lions, 6-3, better hope they saved some of this offensive magic for next week, because they'll be facing a much more challenging opponent in the dirty Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a good game. So I'm not hoping for injuries tonight, but I'm really hoping that it's a hard physical game and Philadelphia is just gassed come next week. Should play into a nice little advantage for us. Yeah, dude, 500 yards, bro. Yeah. MCDC will stay in-house with Morton's replacement. Rick, I think that is the wise choice. I think we have a perfect now sample of promoting from within with Calvin Shepard, and look at the success he's having, and bringing somebody in, even though he does have ties to the Detroit Lions, but bringing in an external candidate like John Morton and the product that we ended up with. Personally, I was a Hank Fraley fan, and I still think Hank Fraley should be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, though, will have to put his little hat in his hand. And I think he's a big enough man to admit that he was wrong. And probably we'll see Hank Fraley be the offensive coordinator next year. That'd probably be the best thing. Again, the promotion from within, knowing the chemistry of the players, knowing the ins and outs, knowing the minute details, and knowing that the offensive line is the engine that turns the Detroit Lions team, right? It is the engine that runs everything. Without our offensive line, we are dead in the water, which brings me to my next point. Big shout out. Offensive line. Keoti Awashika. Everybody, can we give a round of applause to Keoti Awashika? Really stepping up, really tip of the hat to you, my friend. Also, Tristan Colin, Brent DeWitt, big fan. I remember him shouting out Tristan Colin. Tristan Colin, I think, played better than Graham Glasgow. I was actually kind of hoping that Colin would finish the game out, but Glasgow was able to come back, which is a good thing. You don't want guys to be hurt, but do you guys think that Tristan Colin might be a better center than Graham Glasgow and possibly could push him for that job? If not by the end of the season, possibly a holdover into next year and be our starting center. Do you think he is a long-term solution? Did you like what you seen out of him? Was this a Legion of Who, where the Monday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, our secondary was piecemealed together and played out of their minds? Was this a fluke, or is this what we've seen Keoti Awashika be capable of doing for the majority of his career here in Detroit? Yeah, he's not going to be great, but boy, when the lights are on and it's time to play, 8 times out of 10, he's going to play pretty well. So I think Kiaudio Ishika played really, really well. Him and Tristan Colin are two of the guys that I would have given game balls to because they stepped up massively. They were able to step in and play. You wouldn't have known if you'd have taken the jerseys off and everyone just wore masks and neutral colored sleeves. I don't think you'd have noticed much of a drop off between him and Christian Mahogany. If anything, he might have played a little bit better than Mahogany, right? Now, we're just thoughts I had on the game, you guys. Just thoughts I had. Campbell put his nuts on the table and fire Morton mid-season. Derek, I had that thought, and it's something I kind of thought about all night. To mitigate drama, to keep continuity, to maintain calm waters, I think you keep Morton around. I don't think you pull the ripcord on him unless he starts acting a fool. Unless he starts acting a fool, then Dan has to show that he's the boss. But right now, I think now is the time for maintaining the status quo. This isn't the time to make the big public change, the termination, the promotion, the moving up, the new roles put onto another coach. I don't think this is the time to do that. If you were going to do that, the bye week would have been the week to do that. Colin is built like a refrigerator. Played good, too. Yes, he did, Jack. He really, really did, dude. No GG is our center. End of story. All right, Motown, you like Graham. That's fair. GG was our only starter O-line who hadn't been injured yet. Well, he got dinged up, though. He looks like he's glued together and held together with duct tape. You know what I'm saying? Coach Dan called out the O-line first. Well done. It's the foundation. When your first pick as a rebuild, the new GM and head coach, your first pick is the offensive line. That sets the tone for the mentality of your team. And that's exactly what we've done. We drafted Penei Sewell, and we have allowed the Penei Sewell way of doing business, his identity, the things that he does on the field, how he conducts himself, is how the entire organization follows. Not saying that he sets the tone, but that is the style of play, that is the mentality of a player that the Detroit Lions look for. That's the psych profile that I talk about all the time that I'm pretty sure Brad Holmes looks for. So those are the grades. Let's go ahead and talk some Lions news. Campbell calls plays over Morton in Lions win over Commanders. And you guys seen the results. You've seen the results. We can't be mad at it. With Campbell in charge of play calling instead of offensive coordinator John Morton, Goff threw for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Gibbs found the end zone 3 times and ran for 142 yards in a bounce-back 44-22 win over the Washington Commanders in front of President Donald Trump. Excuse me. It's been a long time since he's done it. He was great, said Goff, who completed 25 of 33 passes with no interceptions and a touchdown connections with Gibbs, and Amon-Ra, who celebrated with a Trump dance, and, of course, J-Mo getting a later touchdown. He's not this rah-rah guy, the QB said about Campbell. He's extremely smart. With Trump watching from a suite after arriving late in the first half, making him the first sitting U.S. president at a regular season NFL game since 1978, and just the third ever, the Lions put up the first 22 points and never looked back. They scored on each of their initial 8 possessions. Shout out to Dan and how he controlled the game, said Williams, who had 6 catches for 119 yards. It was kind of funny seeing him with the glasses. It's a different look, for sure. Yes, Daniel Campbell is a much different body of an individual, a much more different demeanor than Dan Campbell. Daniel Campbell means business. Dan Campbell is here to lead. Daniel Campbell means business. More than enough to keep intact a streak that began in Campbell's second season in charge and its longest active such run in the NFL. The Lions have not lost 2 regular season outings in a row since a 5-game skid ended in October of 2022. That's very impressive. That is a very impressive number, okay? The fact that you can bounce back, short memory, fix things, find the problems, fix them, make it better, get on to work. Short memory, new game plan, always ready, always ready. We don't let the situation dictate our decisions. We dictate the situation. More than enough to keep intact, after the club's sloppy performance in last week's 27-24 loss to the Minnesota Queens, Campbell decided during the week to make the change with his offense. It was just, let's try something a little different. Maybe a different play caller could get us a little more rhythm, said Dan Campbell. That's an interesting little thing. But, what do you guys think? Do you think this is permanent? Do you think it's permanent? Do you think he at least holds on to it through the next couple of weeks? We got a kind of a gambit of games coming up, dude. We got the Eagles, we got the Packers. It's going to be kind of a few good bouts for us, and we need to be on our A game if we want to maintain positioning in the playoff race. What do you guys think? How are we feeling? Dan said play calling was a collected effort, but we never seen Johnny Moe speak. Who was Dan collaborating with? I know. That's what I was wondering. We never seen Johnny Moe talk at all. It looked like he was just sitting there eating a fruit roll-up all night. Redskins was a get-right game against a bad defense, but the real test is Sunday night against the Eagles. Feeling much better with Dan calling plays. Brent, I agree with every word you just said there. It was a get-right game, and get right did we ever get right. But there is a huge bout coming up Sunday night against the Eagles. Hopefully, the Packers can kind of wear them down tonight, and maybe they come in a little bit, little sore, a couple of bangs, a couple of bruises, maybe a little tuckered out, and the Lions can take advantage of it, take them out in the deep water, and bite off their kneecap and fight them with one ass cheek and three toes. You know what I'm saying? At least the next few, but maybe be permanent. Yeah, I agree with you, Jody. I think it's got to be at least the next couple games, but it'll probably end up being permanent. You know what I mean? Nice photo op for Veterans Day tomorrow. Welcome to the show. He may have dissed Detroit in politics. Blue bellies, we are. That's true. Yeah, the Detroit is very blue, yes. No press for you, blaming the players. Oh, no, you're good, dude. You are totally all right. Rick, are you trying to get a Jared Goff chant? Are you trying to get a Jared Goff chant going? Hell yeah, dude. You guys know I like me some JG16 for MVP. Tim 20 Man, he's got some observations here for us. Let's see, what do you got here? The only real threat left on the schedule is the Eagles. If we play like we did last night, no other team can play with us. Motown, I agree. I do think we're going to have I think that the division is going to be some interesting games, though. Philly's going to be a tough game, but, the collaboration was with Goff and Fairley. Hell yeah, Rick C. I hope it was. Dude. But Motown, to your point, brother, the Eagles are going to be a heck of a test for us, but I do think the division opponents are always going to be a little rough. Minnesota, we're going to have a point to prove. Green Bay, a point to prove. Chicago's going to be feisty when we square off against Chicago. They're going to be feisty, but I think we're going to take care of business. You know what I'm saying? I was answering the question. No, I see what you're saying now, Rick C. I see what you're saying, brother. The collaboration with Goff, it was with Goff and Fairley. I put it together after you said that. I'm just kind of stupid, dude. Tim 20 Man, Week 10 observations, Mr. Do-It-All. Safety Brian Branch showed again why he's so valuable in this defense with his versatility. Branch led Detroit with 7 tackles in their 44-22 win versus Washington on Sunday and recorded 1.5 sacks and a tackle for a loss. The motherfucker was all over the field. Speed kills. J-Mo's speed is so special that the Lions use him a lot to try and take the top off the defense. But that speed also plays in the short and intermediate parts of the field on crossers when defensive backs are tasked with trying to run step for step with Williams horizontally. Williams finished with 6 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown, and one of those was a crosser. Williams said they expected a lot of man and match coverage, and him running away from defensive backs on these crossers was a big part of the game plan coming in. Stepping in, it was a really nice job by veteran guard Keoti Awashika, stepping in for the injured Christian Mahogany. The offensive line didn't skip a beat. Quarterback Jared Goff wasn't sacked in the contest, and he was hit just 5 times. Awasika and the rest of the O-line also did a great job opening holes for a 200-plus yard rushing performance, really pounding it on the ground. Rare company, Jahmyr Gibbs had 15 rushes for 142 yards. That's a 9.5 yards per carry average in case you needed the math. And 2 touchdowns and added 3 catches for 30 yards with a 10 yards per clip average. A touchdown for a total of 172 yards from scrimmage and 3 tuggery-doos. Those 3 touchdowns gives Gibbs 10 total on the year. Only him, Calvin Johnson, Billy Sims, and Leon Hart have produced at least 10 touchdowns through the first 9 games of a season in franchise history. Insanely elite company to be in. Jahmyr Gibbs is a very special man. Unselfish player. Jack Campbell is one of Detroit's unquestioned leaders on defense as the Mike linebacker and green dot signal caller. Campbell doesn't mind jumping in on special teams and producing there too. Campbell had 5 tackles, 3 solo, and a quarterback hit, and added 4 total special teams tackles, which tied the franchise single-game record for special teams tackles. Kickoff rule, I thought this was an interesting manipulation of the rule. After Detroit's 3rd touchdown for the game and a 2-point conversion run by David Montgomery, Washington's defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct that put the subsequent kickoff at the 50-yard line. When the ball is kicked out of bounds, the receiving team gets it at the 25 yards from the kickoff spot, so in this case, it was the 25-yard line. The same thing happened later in the first half with another unsportsmanlike following Jake Bates' 22-yard field goal. Washington came into Sunday third in the NFL in average starting position after kickoff at the 32.2-yard line. Detroit opted to play the numbers and take the 7 yards of field position. It was a clever little maneuver there. Road Warrior. I thought Jared Goff couldn't play on the road. Goff completed 25 of 33, 75.8% percentage completion percentage for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions for a 135.9 passer rating against Washington. Playing on the road in tough environments just doesn't seem to faze him. Goff extended his NFL record by topping a 70% completion percentage for the 8th straight road game. That's fucking nuts. President Trump was in attendance for Sunday's game, marking the first time a sitting president, blah, blah, blah. We know that Trump read the oath of enlistment to on-field service members from a suite during halftime, which I thought was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's watch this post-game locker room celebration of Detroit Lions.
All right, hey, man, that's the way to go. All right? We don't listen to what anybody else says about what we are, what we aren't. We know what we are. We always bounce back. It's about getting better every week. All right? There's things we got to clean up. I got it. But, man, that's more like us. That's a lot more like us. I'm proud of you guys, though. I didn't expect anything different. I really didn't. I got one game ball. All right? This guy, 25 of 33, 76% completion percentage, 320 yards, 3 tugs, 135.9 rating. Jared Goff.
Defense, if you can hear me, way to go. Way to respond. I love you, boys. Let's keep going.
Let's get everything packed up. Get the hell out of here. All right, get home. Great job, man. 6 wins. Break it down. Wherever you're at.
Let's go. Hey, lines on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lines.
Heck yeah, boys. Heck yeah, business. That was Daniel Campbell right there. That wasn't MCDC. That was a Daniel Campbell speech. Business. Get back to business. How we doing, Mad Hatter Nation? Eagles and Rams are our biggest challenges. Rick C. Yeah, the Rams, I hate to say it, but Stafford's having an MVP caliber year. First Veterans Day I've ever had off. I'm going to eat all the cheap food. Trippy Gypsy. Heck yeah, enjoy your Veterans Day. Hat and Boobs, she has Veterans Day off, but my employer, they didn't want to give us Veterans Day as a paid holiday. They don't appreciate it. They don't. They also don't put up any 9/11 remembrance stuff, and I guarantee that there won't be a 50-year anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald Memorial stuff. Where I work, they just really don't like America, dude. It's gross. Packers are a joke at best, losing to the Browns and Panthers. They are not ready for the smoke. Motown, you're probably right, but divisional games are just weird, man. Divisional games have a way of being weird, dude. Bears are going to be a tough out, too. Benedict has them playing hard right now. They got very lucky, but you're not wrong. They are playing pretty tough, but they got real lucky that Jackson Dart had his headset on. Jack Campbell, linebacker, is everywhere. Heck yeah, he is, dude. Rams have beat nobody that scares anyone, plus Stafford is Goff's bitch. You are correct. You are correct, Motown. You are absolutely correct. He enlisted some people. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, dude. It was pretty cool. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yes, sir. Yes, you got it, Jody. Curb your enthusiasm. You got it. Larry David's a fuckface, though. But yeah, that's what it's from. Yep, you got it. A sunny day. It is actually nice and sunny here. What is it? Sunny, and it just says cold weather. It literally, the temperature just says cold weather. Matt Stafford joined the 400 club. Yeah, he had, what was it, his 400th win or 400th touchdown or something like that. They're all like, yay, Pad Stafford, yay, Pad Stafford, so great. Oh, Pad Stafford, now that you're no longer in Detroit, you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, Pad Stafford. I don't like Pad Stafford, and I don't like his wife or their goofy fucking white teeth. So let's take a look over here at A to Z Sports. 5 winners, 4 losers. What are we doing? What the fuck are you doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? How does that look? Oy vey. 5 winners, 4 losers. And what happened to a first-round pick? Winners, Jared Goff. Goff got a game ball from head coach Dan Campbell after the game, and you can see why. Pause that. Goff completed 78% of his pet throws and for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also tied Drew Brees for the 3rd most 300-yard passing games in the first 10 years of a quarterback's career. One more, and he ties Matt Ryan for second. Very impressive. I didn't realize that, but very impressive. We've also seen a huge drop-off in 300-yard passing games. So when guys now hitting 300 yards, I'm like, there you go. Revolutionize the fucking NFL. Throw the ball downfield instead of a long. See, maybe Dan's going to take Johnny Moe into a film study and be like, see how I call plays where we throw the ball vertically down the field? And Johnny Moe's going to go, screen? And you go, no. We throw the ball vertically down the field. And Johnny Morton's going to go, screen. No. Johnny, do you see how we put 44 points up? And he's going to go, uh-huh. And he's going to go, do you know how we did it? He's going to go, Jameer Gibbs. He's going to go, yes, we did use Jameer Gibbs. And he's going to go, screen? He's going to go, yeah, well, no, we didn't do any screens. You throw the ball vertically down the field. He's going to screen. And that's why Johnny Morton's not going to be retained after the season, because he likes Jameer Gibbs and he likes screens, and anything other than Jameer Gibbs and throwing screen passes, he doesn't know how to move the ball down the field. Dan Campbell, a choice needed to be made, and Campbell made that choice. The good coaching, that's good coaching right here. You have to do what's right for the team in the moment, and what was right after the loss to the Vikings was for Dan Campbell to take over the offense. It wasn't just about the 44 points. It was about all the things the Lions did they hadn't been doing to get those 44 points. Like it shouldn't have been that hard to figure out ways to use Jameson Williams. Campbell steps in. William goes off for 119 yards and a touchdown. It's, correlation, causation, but it's kind of hard to ignore the product that you've seen. J-Mo was freed. They unlocked J-Mo. Jameer Gibbs had 173 total yards and 3 touchdowns. How do I not include him in the winners category? Lions offensive line. Going into this game, the Lions were supposed to be in big trouble with all offensive line after Christian Mahogany, Penei Sewell, and Taylor Decker all got hurt against the Minnesota Queens. Only one of those guys didn't play in this game, and the guys who did had a tremendous day, allowing just 2 pressures all day long. Goff was kept clean, and that's why he balled out. The roads were open for Gibbs, and that's why he balled out. The guys up front deserve a lot of credit for this one. Yeah, the run lanes were insane, dude. Ratledge was playing really good, dude. I was impressed with Ratledge. Ratledge was out there playing like a professional. Brian Branch. The Lions had 2 sacks in this game, and if I told you that 1.5 of them came from a safety, I'm not sure how you would have believed me. Branch had that type of game on Sunday. He was everywhere, including in Marcus Mariota's face. Now, yes, you could say that if you told somebody who didn't know the Detroit Lions or historically that the safeties, a safety had 1.5 of the 2 sacks, most people would go, you're fucking nuts. But if you look at the Lions' defense historically, mostly, it was under Aaron Glenn, but he really liked to send guys like Ife Melifonwu on blitzes. So we actually kind of blitz our safeties. I don't know because I don't know the actual metrics of it, but at least what I see on the field during the Aaron Glenn tenure, we blitzed our safeties quite a bit. So it's not really that shocking outside of Detroit. If you're outside looking in, yeah, it sounds super weird. But if you see how our defense has always kind of operated, our safeties do get sent on blitzes, probably more so than most teams. Losers was the pass rush. Yes, it was. All my parlays blew up because I got way too high on Aiden Hutchinson getting to the quarterback and Aleem McNeil. Where was Aleem McNeil? You know who had a really good game on the defensive line? Roy Lopez. Roy Lopez had himself a monster game. This is quietly one of the worst pass rush performances the Lions have had all season. They couldn't get much pressure on Marcus Mariota in this one, just 10 pressures and 2 sacks. The usually dominant Aiden Hutchinson walked out with just 2 pressures in the game. The Lions did their thing and got stops on defense, but they'll need to get back to the group they've been the rest of the year against the Eagles. Terrion Arnold isn't here because he played badly. On the contrary, he was probably the best defensive player on the field for both teams on Sunday. The problem is that he went out of the game with another injury again. This time, a concussion. Arnold is having a hard time catching a break with these injuries. You have to hope this one, that this is the last one, because he has been phenomenal after the bye week. I wouldn't say he's been phenomenal all season. He's been phenomenal after the bye week, and he learned how to keep his dirty little dick beaters off wide receivers. Tyleek Williams, where are you, Tyleek? Tyleek. Has anybody seen Tyleek? Do we need to get Tyleek on the back of a milk carton here to figure out where he is? What's going on here? Williams was a starter, and we all knew that once Aleem McNeil returned, Williams would take a back seat. We just didn't know he'd be back where the groceries are instead of in the seat. Against the Vikings, he played just 11 snaps. Against the Commanders, he played just 8. He played well in both games, but why is he suddenly barely playing? Probably to reacclimate Aleem McNeil and get him up to speed, make sure he's good to go. But personally, I do, as much as I am like, where is Tyleik Williams? I've thought about it. Probably letting him continue his development off the field now that the pressure's not on him to perform because Aleem's back. Roy Lopez had a pretty good game. Also, keeping him fresh for a postseason run is going to be wildly beneficial. You know what I'm saying? John Morton, big loser, big ol' L on Johnny Moe's face. This doesn't mean that Morton is fired or anything like that, but it's not great to lose the play calling duties halfway through your first season as the play caller. Maybe he gets them back at some point. Who knows? But right now, you have to wonder how much longer he'll be in Detroit. I do agree with that. That is a big question. What do you guys think? Do you think John Morton sticks around the rest of the season? Honest question. Do you think we keep John Morton around? Do you think he sticks around, or do you think he ends up wanting to bail? What do you think is going on? Lopez was living in their backfields. What's with T. Williams? Did he even play? Yeah, Brent, 9 snaps. He played a whopping 9 snaps. That could be maybe his skill set just didn't lend itself to the 2 opponents that we were playing. Maybe because, Brad Holmes goes and gets guys like a Roy Lopez for very specific things. Amik Robertson. I mean, he's a great player, but Amik Robertson's main role is to shut down Justin Jefferson 2 times a year, right? Roy Lopez might have had a very specific skill set that lent itself to being able to control the defensive line, and we've seen how well he was playing. Now, this could just be they're trying to keep the rotation fresh. I like to think that it is the camp of Roy Lopez's skill set lent itself to being productive against the commies, as well as we're keeping our first-round pick fresh. We're keeping guys kind of fresh so we have fresh legs under them for a postseason run, because we know that conditioning, fatigue, and injuries are something that the team is a little bit hesitant about having have happen to them, and historically we should be worried about that. Look at last year. Even though we made it to the number 1 seed, we limped into it with 572 players on IR. You know what I'm saying? GM fires him in week 20. Dan will not do it on camera. Yeah, I don't think he'll do it publicly. I agree with you. It'll probably be a Brad Holmes move. Whoops, Trump put out a Reagan-esque notice to air traffic controllers to get back to work, or else. No shit, Jody. Good on him. He stays for the rest of the season unless he's forced out himself. Rick C., that's fair, dude. Google says 1.5 sacks. Forgive me, I thought I saw 3. Oh, gotcha, Arf. Yeah, no, it was 1.5 sacks on Brian Branch. We had, I think he had like 3 tackles for losses or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, he had 1.5 sacks, which is insane. It is a good number for a safety to have. It's just, historically, if you look at the Lions, we do tend to send our safeties on blitzes. I think at a little bit more of a rate, at least under Aaron Glenn, than most other teams. Though that could have been just a way to try and generate pass rush, specifically last year with Hutch going down, as well as while Hutch was still kind of developing, we had to figure out something else because there hasn't been that other guy opposite Aiden Hutchinson, which is why we're always clamoring for somebody in the draft. You know what I'm saying? We need a name at OC, some aspiring head coach. Gotcha, Duncan C. And I would like to see if Stefanski gets fired or if Dable gets fired. If we're going to bring externally, I'd like one of those 2 guys. But I think we're going to promote from within. Or else really isn't that bad. If you don't get back to work, docked pay. If you stay working, $10K bonus. Well, shit, Trippy, what the fuck, dude? What are they worried about? You either lose money or you get a bunch of money. Shit, man. Look, all they got to do is abolish the filibuster and then just ram this fucker home. And I don't want to hear this bullshit of, well, if we abolish the filibuster, then the Democrats are going to do the same thing. They already are. They already were. They don't play by the rules, guys. They don't play by the rules. Stop pretending that they're playing a fair fucking game, dude. Just be done with it. Be done with it. But we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that right now. But hopefully, I mean, there are some things that it's kind of causing some issues. Air traffic controllers, the SNAP benefits for people, that type of stuff. But look how long the government's been shut down, and in reality, do any of you has the federal government being shut down, has it really impacted your day-to-day life that much? Or are we kind of starting to see that the federal government is just this over-bloated bureaucratic bullshit of just a sponge to suck funding, just to suck money out of the American taxpayer? Project 2025. You might be right. Better entertainment from the meltdowns. It is, Trippy. You are right. It is good entertainment. We like to bask in the bay of Schadenfreude around here periodically. I love this Real America First channel. Dude, Mr. Detroit City, I appreciate it, dude. And yeah, I am like an unapologetic America First guy. I am like very, very pro-America, dude. Like I even grew up as a kid, like when I learned about isolationism, I was like, well, why don't we just do that? Like, as a kid, I remember like looking around and being like, why don't we solve things here first? Why don't we take care of things on the home front before we go and try and fix the world? You know? And then the line that's been kicking around the last few years is you have to secure your own oxygen mask. And it's like, yep. Yep. Nietzsche mean problem. Oh, hell yeah, guys. All right, fellas. So today we talked about Trump's Amon-Ra hitting the Trump dance. We looked at some grades from Week 10, namely the Buffalo Bills falling apart against the Miami Dolphins and the big win Detroit had. Dan Campbell calling plays over John Morton. And ooh, 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 it's magic. Our offense just firing on all cylinders, getting a little revenge against the commies for last year's unceremonious ejection from the postseason. We looked at Tim 20-man's 10 observations, and it was just a nice little glazing of our team. I mean, it's, you know, why not give ourselves a little pattery-do on the back, dude? It's Monday. It's Victory Monday. We can walk around with our heads held high and our chest out a little bit. Why not? We beat the team that bounces from the playoffs, and we beat them. Sure, we beat the brakes off of them, boys. We beat them in every goddamn aspect of the game. We really took it to them, fellas. There's a difference between isolationism and America First. That's true, Steve. You are correct. You are correct. There is a difference. Defense is bloated buying missiles. We lose no men under Don. Damn straight. You're right. Isolationism is completely cut off from the rest of the world. You're right. It is different, but I just personally don't give a fuck about people. I care about people. I just would rather fix things on the home front. You know, like I always kind of hearken it back to, why are we paying to fix roads in other countries when the roads in front of my fucking house are falling apart? I know. I sound like every broken Michigander record. Fix the roads. Blah 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 blah. But it's just it's right there. I mean, and it's such a simple like comparison or analogy for everything. It's like, motherfucker, you can't even fucking pave the roads for us to drive on in our own country. How are you going to take care of other people's roads? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. It's privatize it. Greens in Europe like to say, think globally and act locally in your community. Speak up, dog. Yeah, dude. Think globally, act locally. What are Greens? What is that, like a group? Is that like a political group? We pay for our roads in Florida, and guess what? They're amazing. Feed and fix America first. Hell yeah, you guys. If my cattle fence is broken and the cattle are out, why the fuck am I going to fix my neighbor's barn first? Right, dude? Trippy, right? Hell yeah, got to fix homeland first. Yeah, you guys. To be fair, China's fixing roads in other countries, and they're winning hearts of idiotic countries. Well, yeah, but China's just a paper tiger, dude. They're winning through bullshit, through paper money, through fake money, dude. If China was a real fucking threat, their navy would be able to go more than 100 miles off the coast. If China was legit, then they would have an actual like global presence as far as like trade is concerned, securing shipping lanes and shit. All they have is just a bullshit fucking stick water navy, dude, that can only go around in the fucking right around their shores, dude. And hell, they ram them, dude. They're so bad at driving boats that they run into each other, dude. Did you know GM and Ford sued the government after World War II for damage to their German factories? I'm not surprised. I did not know that, but I am not surprised at all. We don't have state tax, but I'll pay tolls for nice roads any day. Yeah, dude. Like, man, we pay a lot of taxes, and our roads just don't get taken care of. Oh, the German defense minister was a lady. Green Party. Gotcha. Okay. Duncan, I was pretty sure that Green Party was something over there in Europe. Dude, are you in Europe, dude? Because you know a lot about geopolitics over there, bro. Like you know a lot about European stuff, dude. That's not a bad thing. I've just kind of noticed like you kind of got your finger on the global pulse, dude. And it's appreciated. I'm not like knocking it, dude. It's an observation, and it's appreciated. Well, boys, it's 11:04. I think we're going to go ahead and power this down. We had an interesting show today. If you haven't already, would you kindly subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, hit the like button on your way out the door, and share this video around with everybody you know. Come back maybe in a day and hype this bad boy up. Check it out. Keep your eye on it. See, I don't know exactly how the hype stuff works, but you know, it's there. It's a thing you can do. Yeah. Well, guys, get ready for a Monday night game. Hopefully Green Bay can make it a physical match against the Eagles and kind of tucker them out a little bit for us, because that'd be a benefit next Sunday. And I wouldn't mind a little tuckered out Philadelphia Eagles team. That'd be beneficial. Hold your head up high. Stick your chest out. It's Victory Monday, guys. We've righted the ship. Daniel Campbell, is back in control of everything here in the Motor City. And oh, does it feel so good and so right when the Lions have a big victory. It makes the whole week a lot better. It just makes everything better. You guys. So, all right, fellas, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.